you know what? Kids never cease to amaze me. Like, their outlook on life is just so simple and on point. And as adults, you can't ignore that. You gotta sometimes take a step back and just acknowledge that and learn from it. This week was really interesting for me. There's this moment where I watched my daughter jump a good metre off her sort of 3 foot high changing mat into my wife's arms. Now, did my wife know she was going to jump? No. Did my wife catch her? Yes. Did my daughter even acknowledge or care about the kind of sheer panic across the face of me and my wife as she went airborne? No. Nonetheless, she jumped anyway. And you know what? She didn't stop to ask the question, can I rely on you for this? She just did rely on us. It got me thinking about reliability. It is something that can easily be taken for granted, and we get quite almost forgetful of those that are quite consistent and dependable. And that can have quite an impact on people, for good and for bad. But it shouldn't stop reliability, and it shouldn't impact you in being a reliable person. It really got me thinking about one of the Bible stories that, I don't know, you might know quite well. The story of the lost son. It's usually called the story of the prodigal son. And it depicts this story of this son who's got a brother and a dad, and he takes his inheritance early and goes off and squanders it in like a deluge of debauchery and selfishness and self-pity, and he hits rock bottom. And it's only when he's like so low that he's tempted to eat the pig's food that he kind of goes, what am I doing? I need to get my life sorted. And he goes back to his dad, and his dad kind of welcomes him with like this exuberant love and over lavishes him, and big massive welcoming party, and it's great. And it's interesting, when Jesus is telling the story, he's alluding to the good father concept, and a lot of people do actually call that story now the good father, because it talks about that good father who like loves you, has a deep love for you. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you've done. God has that deep love for you. But there's a character that only ever gets referred to usually in the negative context when people talk about him, which is probably a bit unfair, because I don't think that's what the story's trying to say. And that's the brother. And the brother's been like the reliable one from day one, working hard for his dad, looking after the land, doing all the good things, that a good son would do. And he comes in and he sees this party and he is fuming. He's like, "Why? I'm out of here." And he's out. He goes and there's two things that happen after that I think are quite key. The first one is the dad goes out, leaves the party, and goes out to speak and plead with his son. And that suggests that his son was missed, and that he was actually sought after. He mattered, he was important. And then the second thing is what he says to his son. His son's having a kick off saying, "I do all this for you, I'm the reliable one, and you just go and do all this for him." And he's like, "My son, everything I have is yours. Everything." That to me is huge. So like I was saying before, you find a lot of the times with people that are reliable, or if you are somebody that's reliable, that you just do find that you probably feel a bit taken for granted or overlooked. And I think sometimes we do it to people around us who are reliable. We take them for granted and we overlook them. And if there's one thing I get from this story, then it's the fact that actually you may not see or hear the back end of actually what comes from your reliability, but something does come from it, and there's some level of reward. If I think about the simplest of things, it could be somebody just turns around and says thank you to you, and you go, "Do you know what, it was good to just be there." But that reward could be huge, folks. It'd be as big as somebody's life that you saved because you were the constant through their stormy period of life that they were going through. That's big, that's huge. And that's like a key point. So